Tonight on Larry King Live, Mr. Lawrence Kohlberg is in the building. He's going to explain his theory of moral development. Good evening and welcome. We are joined tonight by a philosopher and psychologist, Lawrence Kohlberg, who is the developer of a theory that explains moral development. Welcome, Mr. Kohlberg.
Oh, thank you for having me, Larry.
Our pleasure. Thanks. Mr. Kohlberg, perhaps you can explain your theory to the viewers.
Okay. I believe that humans intrinsically want to explore and understand their natural surroundings. This is done through we go through stages of moral development through this. We begin with the pre-conventional stage where we start with obedience, and then we move on to self-interest orientation. The self-interest. So obedience is, am I going to be good or am I going to be bad? Am I going to be punished for this? Whereas with self-interest orientation, it's what's in it for me. Okay. Very similar, but again, there's development going on.
Okay.
The second level is the conventional, where we begin to the interpersonal accord and conformity stage. We're beginning to understand the social norms through this, and then my fourth stage is the authority and social order maintain. So again, there are rules in society, so we begin to understand them then, and when we develop there. And my final level is the post-conventional. Mm-hmm. There are two stages again. One is the fifth level is social contract, and the sixth level is the universe ethical principles. So we're starting to expand our understanding of the world as we continue developing in morality.
Okay, so let me stop you there, Mr. Kohlberg. There have been a lot of critics about your theory. Mm-hmm. People arguing that your theory emphasizes justice to the exclusion of other values. Mm-hmm. Other people have argued that people frequently demonstrate significant inconsistency in their moral judgments. And lastly, there also have been critics who have suggested that your theory is not culturally neutral, and different cultures develop moral reasoning at different rates. Mm-hmm. How would you respond to these critics?
What I would say to these critics is that although different cultures do have different beliefs, my theory takes into account more or less their development, the underlying development. So it will change through cultures, but the basics, the core values of each of the theories are still going to be maintained within each of these cultures.
Okay, that's very good. So Mr. Kohlberg here has actually given us examples of each one of his stages. So we're going to take a look at stage one here. It was about obedience, right?
It was about obedience,
okay,
yes.
So stage one is obedience. So we're going to take a look at that right after the break.
Hey, Brandon, can I use your red marker? Not right now, Brian. I'm using it. Oh, poop breath. Oh, I need to get the scissors. I'll be right back.
Should I take the red marker? I should take it because you'll never know. But if I get caught, I might get in trouble.
Okay, so that was the first stage, obedience. Mm-hmm. And I understand that the second stage, which is self-interest, mm-hmm. is actually quite similar to the first stage.
Yeah. With self-interest, instead of looking for how can I avoid punishment, you're really looking for what's benefiting me, what's benefiting myself, as opposed to be punished for it.
Okay, so you've also prepared a clip for that, so let's take a look at that one.
Brandon, Yeah, Brian, can I use your red marker? Oh, not right now. I still need it.
Should I take the red marker? I really need it to finish my project. But if I take it, I might lose Brandon as a friend, and that would make me sad.
Okay, that was a very interesting clip. So now that concludes the whole pre-conventional level, and that's the first level of this theory of moral development.
Yeah.
So how old would a child generally be in stage 1 or level 1?
Generally, it's up to about age 9. It can be older, it can be younger. Again, 8 and 9 is like the average.
9 is the average, okay. So this brings us to level 2, and level 2 you mentioned before is the conventional stage.
Yes.
So can you take us through what the first stage of level 2 is?
So stage 3 is the interpersonal level, or interpersonal conformity. So again, you're as a person, you're looking at your social norms,
Okay.
or good girl, good boy attitude sort of thing.
Okay, so let's take a look at that one.
Hey Vanessa, get in bed, we're going shopping. Oh my god, before we leave, see that girl? Hit her? Yeah, her. We don't like her. Why? She's just weird. You need to beat her up. I need to beat her up? Yeah, or else we'll beat you up.
My friend tells me if I don't beat up that girl, then I will be beaten up myself. Should I beat her up? I really want to fit in with this group of girls. If I don't beat her up, I will be beaten up myself and will be an outcast. If I beat her up, it would be wrong, but at least I would belong to the group.
Okay, so that one was level 3.
Yeah.
I think we learned a lot from that clip. How about you now take us through level 4?
Level 4 is the law and order stage. We conform to laws because we want to maintain social order within society.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so you've prepared a clip for level 4, so let's take a look at that one now.
Hey! My purse! Back up!
That guy is stealing the old lady's purse. Should I beat up this guy for stealing because I can get the purse back? Stealing is against the law. Or should I not beat him up because assault is against the law?
Okay, welcome back. So that one was the final stage, or final level of stage 2. Stage 2 is the conventional stage. Now, how old would somebody generally be when they graduate from stage 2?
They're generally going to be getting into adulthood. Some adults are still at in level 2. Some adults are still conventional, but again, it's generally about adulthood.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the final level, the post-conventional level. Okay, now can you take us through the first stage of the post-conventional level?
Yeah, and in stage 5, we're driven by social contracts. So we respect that other groups have rights as well, and other groups within the community. So we're starting to think and much more broadly as society as a whole.
Perfect, so let's take a look at that clip. Food drive! Food drive!
I have some food to donate.
Oh, thank you so much for your donation.
You're welcome.
I'm at this food drive and there's a lot of food lying around. My family is poor and hungry. Should I steal the food because my family has no food to eat? We have the right to live, even if it's against the law. Or should I not steal the food because other families have the right to this food? Even if my family is poor and hungry, it doesn't make it right. I don't know what to do.
Food drive! Okay, so I think that clip really hit home with a lot of people. I think in today's society, trying to make sure you're getting enough food for your families and whatnot. I think that that's probably something that a lot of people are going through on a day-to-day basis. Moving on to the final stage, stage 6.
So stage 6, it's the universal ethical principally driven. People are thinking much more abstractly at this stage and reasoning based on other ethics that they don't quite have or know.
Okay, so let's take a look at that one then.
Hi, thanks so much
Hey,
for
babe.
meeting with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I have something to talk to you about.
Oh, what is it?
So do you remember like last month at that party?
Oh yeah.
When, you know, like something happened between us?
Of course I do.
Well, the past week I've been feeling kind of nauseous. So I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive.
Oh no.
And I'm only 15 and I can't take care of this child.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Should I keep the baby because it's a human life and there are ways around being able to care for it? Or should I give it up for adoption because there are other people who may provide for it better than us and who are unable to have kids of their own?
Okay, so that concludes your 6 stages of moral development. So Mr. Kohlberg, I'm going to ask you the question that probably all of our viewers are wondering right now. How do we, as teachers, implement this theory into the classroom?
It's a very good question. I believe that we need to differentiate for students' moral development just as we differentiate for learning and exceptionalities. We can't expect young children, like at the age of 5, to be thinking abstractly or at a stage 5. So present moral dilemmas that are relevant to them.
Okay.
We put so much emphasis now on learning through questioning that moral development is even more necessary for meaningful reasoning. Also, students can even assess their own moral development to see what stage they're at, to know how they're progressing and how they're thinking. And finally, as long as you have the students discussing, your students will develop morally.
Okay, and you know what? I think that's something that we can all strive for. It's like you said, it's going to take some time to get the students up the ladder, but with inquiry-based learning, I think that this is definitely achievable. So, Mr. Kohlberg, I want to thank you for coming in. We all learned a lot, and we look forward to our next meeting.
Awesome.
Good night.